Hello everyone, this is Michael. I'm here with you to have another look into GitLab Duo Agent platform and custom rules for Agentic chat. And in this use case, we want to look into Ansible and specific development guidelines that we want to enforce. You can see here there's a basic GitLab server setup Ansible playbook with some YAML configuration for the playbook itself, for the inventory, and so on. I have already checked this out in Visual Studio Code locally, so you can see it here, and we can also see that ansible-lint detected some errors. So the idea here is now we can actually look into that and say, well, this truth value should be using Boolean. So ansible-lint has told us, okay, there's an error. There's also an error with whitespaces or trailing spaces. And a couple of more errors. And it would be lovely if we were not obligated to fix them one by one, but being able to use AI agents in the Agentic chat to fix that. You can also see there's the error with using a prefix or an FQCN for built-in module actions, which I don't totally understand, but certainly we can do a deep dive, and you can see there's a lot of errors in this configuration. So it's a fully working GitLab server setup on Ubuntu, on Linux, but certainly it's ansible-lint is not happy with that. So in order to fix that, we can certainly open a chat prompt and say, please help me fix the linting errors, and then kind of copy paste the style guide in there. Or we can actually enforce that by using custom rules. And the custom rules I prepared here are configured in the .gitlab/duo/chat-rules.md file. So it's also the path documented in the GitLab Duo documentation as well. And there you are free to define the custom rules in free text form, but certainly it helps to structure it in a specified way, like using Markdown headings for the development style guide, and then specifically for the Ansible style guide. LLMs and agents also work with lists best. So when we want to specifically fix the three things we discovered, Boolean values should be true and false. Ansible built-in module built-in actions should be using the FQCN, which is the fully qualified collection name. So it's like either in the community collection or it's in the core or core provided or built-in provided, and so on. So it's clear from that. And last but not least, we always want to trim white spaces in Ansible YAML. These are very basic instructions. There's certainly a whole lot more to that, but it's helpful to kind of focus on what we want to fix today. So let's go to work and say, please help me fix the ansible-lint errors in GitLab Duo Agentic chat, which you can see on the right-hand side here. And it gets to work. We can see it has included the chat rules as our user instruction here. So it's actually using the GitLab Duo custom rules we have defined, and it's starting to work on an answer. It certainly will read the local files and then start an analysis of what are the errors, and uses specific tools in the background. So you can see it searches for YAML pattern files, identifies or reads the file in the directory, and then comes to the conclusion it wants to execute a tool, which is in this case ansible-lint, just to make sure it's actually installed. So if I wouldn't have that installed, it would tell me to please install it so I can run it, and then use that as a way to because previously it was calling it a version, to kind of see that it exists, and now it wants to analyze the current directory. So the argument here with the dot is actually a current directory, and it runs the command, got the output, and it sees what we are seeing. So it sees the errors that the ansible-lint in Visual Studio Code extension actually brought us up here. So I've got ansible-lint installed here, and it gets to work. So by it I mean GitLab Duo Agentic Chat gets to work. It attempts to fix the GitLab server file, and now we can see it's actually showing us the diff in this view here. It modified the Boolean values. It added the Ansible built-in apt or the built-in prefix that's necessary, and what else did it do? Many other things. Let's see. It wants to run ansible-lint again to verify that the linter is happy. Let's do that. And we can see it fixed the Boolean values. It also automatically removed the trailing white spaces, which we don't see here, I think, in the diff, but certainly it now passes, confirming that all issues have been resolved. So as we can see here, everything has been implemented accordingly, and we can also run or open a new terminal. So I'm pressing Command-Shift-P now. Then search for terminal. I want to create a new terminal here, and then run the same command that the agent just ran. So I don't need to run it ourselves, and it passed. So everything is fine. And this is a great showcase how to actually use GitLab Duo custom rules in Agentic Chat. You specify what should be the case or the development style guide for Ansible YAML, and then agents help you fix that, and in consecutive add-ons for modifying the playbooks, adding more playbooks. It will also apply these development style guides to any code generation documentation and whatnot. I hope this is helpful. We will look into other use cases soon. If you have any further questions, please hop on our community forum or community Discord, and let us know how it goes. I will link a blog post when published in the video description, so you can learn even more about specific use cases for custom rules. Until then, have a great day wherever you are, and see you next time. Bye bye.